Hey, what is up guys? It's your boy Speed here, and today we're going to be doing first impressions of 7.32c. Very excited for the upcoming patch. The pre-TI patch is what many will call this patch. And yeah, it looks like we got a ton of general changes. We'll probably speed through the general changes and then focus on the item and hero changes. Good amount of hero changes here, so pretty exciting patch. Very nice overall. Did Viper get nerfed again? What? The hero wasn't even good. Okay. Either way, we're gonna look at the patch, first impressions, and let's get into it. And quickly, I wanted to briefly let you guys know that the gameleap website is currently 50% off if you use the code POG50 at checkout. I'm telling you this because number one, I think it's a good deal, and number two, I'm making a lot of top tier content over there, live game analysis, replay analysis. I'm gonna be uploading some coaching sessions eventually, very, very soon. So I have a lot of things that I think you guys should go check out. So if you're interested in more content like you get here on YouTube and stuff that's really gonna help you get to the next level, I'd appreciate it if you could use the code POG50 and get your 50% off, sign up to the website, and I'll see you there. Fix some neutral creeps, casting their ability at night, okay. Fixed ocular bracelet, whatever. Okay, so a lot of these changes are probably small and honestly not that important, but I'll gloss over them to see if there's anything useful. So this is a big one. Fixed Death Prophet being able to reapply Spirit Siphon to the same target multiple times if a Dispel was applied. Now you might not know what this means, but if Death Prophet played against Slark, and Slark casted Death Pact, and there's some other examples as well, such as Legion pressed the attack and Shadow Demon Shard, if you dispelled Spirit Siphon, when Spirit Siphon was applied to you, she could reapply it. Now that might seem like, okay, that seems pretty logical, but it doesn't end the old Spirit Siphon. So you could have two Spirit Siphons, both of which did damage on the same target if they got dispelled. So like if Omni Knight dispelled the target, you could have two Spirit Siphons on them. It was very weird. It's actually a nerf to Death Prophet, as in a lot of matchups, it was something you could abuse and abuse effectively. This is another big one that I know a lot of people complained about. Fixed Earth Spirit Shard not instantly providing 4 stone charges. That was a big problem that was for some reason in the game for a long time. This is a huge one. I had no idea that this was the case or even not meant to be a thing, but Fixed Elder Titan not gaining the Astral Spirit buff if used on magic immune enemies. I mean, that's a big deal. The fact that apparently that was straight up just an issue or a bug is insane. So massive change to the hero, as obviously you're gonna hit magic immune targets all the time. This is a big one, a pretty funny one. So I don't know if you guys have played against Lycan. I'm sure most of you have, but Lycan, his howl during the nighttime is global. So everything gets affected, everything. Every enemy hero and enemy creep, even if they're not in vision, even if it's next to their tier 3, and you can't see it at all, gets affected by Howl. And every time you clicked Howl at night, it would bug the game. It would freeze for a second. So it's good that they fixed that. That was a bit of a problem. Honestly, one thing I'm a little bit upset about as a Primal Beast player is it doesn't seem like they fixed the ulti. Primal Beast ulti is extremely bugged right now. Any mobility ability basically bugs Pulverize. It's very frustrating. I don't know why it's not addressed here. It's a bit annoying. All right, now let's move on to the item changes, as most of the general changes are completely irrelevant. So getting to the item changes, Bloodstone no longer has a health activation cost. And honestly, I think this hero situationally is very good. It gives a lot of HP, a lot of mana, and it's really not that expensive. The only major downside of the item is the buildup is complete garbage. And this will be the issue with Bloodstone for as long as it stays this buildup. Voodoo Mask is an underwhelming item on basically every hero. It just is. Soul Booster, the only upside is Arcane Boots can be disassembled into it, which is the only upside. Other than that, Soul Booster isn't a great item, and then a pretty expensive recipe. So while I think this item has pretty good effects, 30% base lifesteal is really impressive. The HP and mana is really solid. It's a big buff to the Soul Booster values. And now the active is better, it doesn't cost HP, so this item's really good on Leshrac, for instance. It's honestly quite strong and has a lot of potential. There's some other heroes it works well on that I don't want to talk about right now, but this item has some potential. Now shares a cooldown with Refresher Shard. Really? Why would they do that? They nerfed both of these items really hard. I didn't think they would do that. That's really surprising to me. But okay. Cooldown no longer ticks while in backpack. At all. Really? That's a huge nerf to the item. It just doesn't tick at all? I thought it was already pretty bad if you kept it in your backpack. Like, it was already an issue. The cooldown was much longer. What is it, 33% longer or something like that? Okay, feels unnecessary to me. I don't get this. I don't know what they saw that I didn't, but okay. And then seemingly pretty similar things for Refresher Shard. Cooldown no longer ticks and the cooldown's a bit lower. But okay. Eye of the Vizier. This item was rough. It would kind of crush your mana pool too hard, so I like this change. 20 to 15%. Still is a bit rough, but it's good. Dagger of Ristal. Only up by 5 attack speed, which isn't going to make the item broken, but I respect it. It's still 15 attack speed, which is good. And then, 40 damage for 8 seconds is solid. I thought they should buff the cooldown from 30 to 20 seconds, and it would make the item viable. That was my personal take on it. They seem to think it's a fine item. Satyr Mindstealer, yes! Please tell me it's a nerf. This doesn't seem like that big of a nerf. It's a nerf, but it's not really. It's almost a buff late into the game, actually, potentially. So, it's a nerf in the early game, which is good, because basically this creep would just burn 100 flat mana. It was so stupid. It would just burn 100 flat mana. Now it will probably burn about 80 on average, which is really not that much of a nerf. It's still gonna be annoying as hell, but it's a nerf. I think it's good. This creep's stupid. And then they nerfed the mana region a bit, so I think reasonable changes. I hated playing it, especially as an offlaner against Chen and Enchantress. Ugh. Axe, base damage increased by 3. That's a lot. That's actually a huge base damage increase. And they slightly buffed this 15 talent, not in a significant way. Sticky Napalm, cast range rescaled from 550, 600, 650, 700 to 600 flat. So better at level 1, but way worse at max, which is a big deal because it makes it harder to chase, harder to cancel blink daggers. So I don't think this makes the hero unplayable. Batrider's still fine. If it's a broken Batrider game, it's a broken Batrider game. Is this a big nerf? It's a nerf, but it's better at level 1, which is very important, right? It is very important. Being able to cancel that salve when the enemy tries to pop it on low HP, or being able to just barely reapply that 8th stack, that 7th stack, that 5th stack of Sticky Napalm at level 1 that can get you a kill by diving a tower or something is huge. So I don't really see this as that much of a nerf. It hurts, but it's not much of a nerf. All right, Bloodseeker, some talents here. Rupture damage, okay, pretty ignorable. Bounty Hunter, 3 base damage. I like this hero. I'm a fan of Bounty. Not as a support, but I like it as a core. 3 base damage is a lot, so pretty good. Brewmaster got some damage increase on Cinderbrew. Spinweb, health regen increased by 2. That's a huge buff to Spinweb. Imagine a hero just getting 2 base HP regen. That would be a crazy buff, right? That's what this is. Because it's not like you're not sitting in web. Of course you're going to be sitting in web. This is a huge buff for Broodmother. Every single minute, you get 120 bonus health. Think about it like that. That's freaking massive. So really big buff to a hero that's already kind of a good later in some matchups. So I can see Brood being a somewhat dominant hero. This hero is pretty obnoxious. Holy Persuasion on Chen, heavily nerfed in terms of the numbers, in a very significant way actually. Really, really rough. Health regen bonus nerfed on Divine Favor by a lot. I think the hero is still viable, but these are some pretty heavy nerfs. So I don't want to say Chen is out. I don't think he is, but way worse. And they nerfed the Satyr Mindstealer. So pretty rough. This talent is pretty insane, by the way. The Penitence deals damage. I don't know if people take it, though, or if they take Holy Persuasion Teleport. I'm actually not sure. Surge decreased by 1 second at all levels. Okay. Alright, that's about it. Movement speed during Starbreaker with Shard is now decreased by 25% to a minimum of 215. Okay, so it's just a nerf. I guess this hero is still performing well in pubs. It's a bit weird for them to nerf it, though. I don't really feel like Dawnbreaker was that dominant. I'm not gonna lie, a lot of these changes are a bit weird. I get the Chen change, it's good. I don't mind some of the base damage changes. The Batrider change is okay. I guess it's reasonable, but like, I just don't know why they wouldn't give Bounty something slightly more interesting, right? Maybe like give the hero a bit of time in the light. You know what I mean? Not that it's that bad right now in pubs, but like in the pro scene, for instance, it's just kind of meh. And that 3 base damage, it's good, but it's not like changing the game. All right, Death Prophet, very popular hero. 1 second cooldown on Crypt Storm at all levels. Okay, pretty rough. And then a flat 38 seconds on charge restore time is brutal. It's brutal because at max, and this is a spell you often max, you would get 8 seconds less on every single charge. So let's say in a team fight you cast 4 charges, that's what, 32 seconds longer you have to wait to get max charges? That is a huge nerf to the hero. So honestly, big nerfs to DP, pretty rough nerfs too, and a movement speed nerf on the active of Exorcism. Do I think this hero is completely out of the meta? No, but this is kind of rough. I will admit, This in particular, the cooldown, it's going to create problems where you're just going to die because you have one less charge. And that's going to happen all the time. You're going to have one less charge basically every fight. That's going to change the game. So pretty huge DP nerfs. I don't know if I'd recommend this hero in pubs, frankly. Drow, 5 base movement speed. It's decent. Shard reduces the cooldown on Echo Stomp. It's actually notable. It's already a low cooldown, so it's pretty good. Eidolon's magic resist decreased by half at level 1. Wow. That is a nerf. If you don't play against Enigma, you don't get this. Or if you don't play Enigma, you don't get this. Eidolons don't die to nukes early game. Now they do, which is a big deal because nukes are often AoE. Eidolons don't like that. So this is a huge nerf to Enigma. A well-deserved nerf, but a huge nerf. And a nerf to the Midnight Pulse damage and the 15 talent. Does it kick the hero out of the meta? No, if it has good matchups and the enemy lane doesn't have AoE magic nukes, it's still going to dominate the lane, still going to be a menace mid to late game. Doesn't make Enigma useless, it just means you have to be careful about picking it into certain new matchups with AoE nukes, because they can actually kill Eidolons now. Like Jakiro, for instance, can be pretty rough due to this change. Faceless Void, Shard bonus range decreased from 300 to 150, a massive nerf on the Shard bonus range. So that's a huge nerf to that. The damage per second decreased from 10 to 7 at level 1. Okay, it scales back up, but this is an ability you don't max early, so it's a big nerf. It's actually a huge nerf. You're gonna lose probably about, what, 60 damage early game if they've casted 3 spells? So that's pretty bad. They also nerfed his level 15 talent, which is a big one. And at level 20, losing 25 attack speed is brutal during the chrono, right? So if you chrono, you'd get bonus attack speed in the chrono. Rough. Nerf to the Shard, heavy nerf to the Shard. That's a lot of cast range. For disengaging, engaging, whatever the reason, a big nerf. Hard nerfs overall. Deserved nerfs, yes. Does it make the hero unplayable? No, but it's these are good nerfs. I'd say this is fine. I would personally just like to see them give out some bigger buffs. I wouldn't even mind if Valve like nerfed certain heroes harder than maybe they should. Take a bit of a risk and then buff certain heroes harder than maybe they should. Take it, you know what I mean? That's my vibe. I feel like a lot of the patches are. I feel like I've been saying this for so many patches. I'm not a game developer. I'm not Ice Frog. I could be crazy, but I just would like to see some more notable changes. This is a good one. The Void changes is great. The DP changes I respect. I like that. I respect the DP changes. Maybe it's a little bit too much. Bat Radar changes are a little bit underwhelming, but okay, I'm fine with that. It makes the hero overall worse. So like, I like a lot of the changes. I'm not trying to completely complain. The Enigma changes I think are very smart and cool. So I'm not trying to complain too much. I just haven't noticed anything where I'm like, oh, I want to play that hero. And I know it's a C patch, I know, but still, you can add something. I feel like even in a C patch, just make one hero cool. Give one hero a change, make something interesting. Maybe we'll see that. Maybe 2 heroes, 3 heroes. Either way, travel speed on the Phantom's Embrace, 100 faster. Travel speed back, 400 faster. Okay, so it makes casting the Embrace much easier and better. That's cool. Cooldown on Flat Cannon by 2 seconds. That's a big deal, and the mana cost is better. So overall, big buff to Gyrocopter. Right, this is your main spell, so 2 seconds off is huge. It's absolutely massive. Blinding Light damage increased by quite a lot, actually, which is really nice. Helps you clear the wave if you can't full channel your blast. And yeah, it's just 80 more damage. It's not going to make Coddle meta by any means, but it's something. Lich, bit of base regen, and this is what I mean. Like, these changes are kind of weird. It kind of feels like, I don't know. Like, personally, if I'm Valve, I'm going to give Lich like 0.75 or like 1 HP regen. Be like, oh, I'm going to make this hero like kind of slightly broken. Maybe the problem is if he becomes too broken, you don't want to have to make too many patches where you're fixing broken heroes, but that wouldn't like put the hero over the edge. I just don't get like these types of changes that seem so menial, Like, it doesn't matter? Yeah, it matters, but like, Lina lost 1 base armor. It's not the end of the world. 10 talent, slightly worse. It's still a good hero. Hex cast range increased by 50. That's actually huge. It has a really bad cast range. 50 can be the difference between catching someone or not, or setting up in the lane, or from the trees. So it's actually a big buff to Lion. Damage on Shockwave, way better at level 1. It's a buff. Throw distance decreased from 275 to 250. Can no longer pull units out of the black hole in Chrono. It's really stupid that was even a thing, but okay, it's reasonable. Whoa. 17 to 24 and 11 to 12 at max. So it's still good when maxed out, but that's a big nerf. Because often you would leave this spell at level 1 as a core, you would max your E, and same thing as the support. This basically forces you to max rebound first, which you kind of don't want to do. I would say most games maxing E from my experience is better. Movement speed and attack speed slow no longer pierces BKB. Shush! That is crazy. Because basically, if you don't know what this means, when Marcy would punch you, If you were BKB, you would still lose, what is it, 100 attack speed at max? You would still, through BKB, get 30% slowed and have 100% less attack speed. So if you were playing like Sven and you tried to man up to Marcy, it was a joke. You just couldn't click her, even through BKB. It was a joke. It's part of the reason this hero is so stupid. Like, Lifestealer just somehow is hard countered by Marcy. Ult. So now they're not. That's a big nerf to Marcy. Does it take her out of the meta? Maybe. These are huge nerfs. Maybe actually. The hero still can jump on mid though and like gank mid, well, no matter what. So it's probably still fine, unfortunately. All right, divided we stand. Dig is such a crazy ability. I swear, if you play Meepo, surely you buy the axe. They buffed it again. Surely you buy the axe. Isn't this thing insane? Nature's Prophet, mana cost buffed on the ult. Okay, I don't really feel like that was a problem, but it could matter. And the shard was buffed. Oh, I never buy this. It's not even that bad, but I don't buy it. It's okay. It's okay at some points in the game. Night Stalker, ulti, better by 10 seconds to level 1, 5 at 2, and the same at max, which is good early game. It's a nice buff. Omni Knight, slightly worse Heavenly Grace. Hammer of Purity, mega nerfed at level 1, a 6-second increase. It's a 60% nerf on Hammer of Purity. Really rough there. So making the hero way worse laner if you wanted to go for this spell. I don't even think you want to skill it at all anymore. I feel like this makes it just not good enough in the lane to skill compared to Purification. Maybe. I'm not an Omni Knight spammer, but that would be my vibe. Okay, they made this hero a little bit better. Kind of underwhelming. Cooldown decreased by a lot on OD Astral level 1, making him a way better laner. Ugh. I hate OD. The early laning against OD is so stupid. I hate Astral. I hate that they buffed it, but whatever. Phantom Assassin, mega turn rate increase, and the attack speed bonus actually significantly buffed. 20 more at max is a big deal. It's really nice. So, okay. Some big buffs to PA. Nice. Don't think it makes your meta after the last patch of nerfs, but okay. Cast range on Spirit Lance increased at level 1. It's good for securing the range creep and harassing opponents, so it's not bad. And the movement speed slow is buffed at level 1 too, so okay. Making the hero a bit of a better laner. I respect that. Uproar passive damage bonus reduced. Sad. Because I would always take this at level 1 to get the 10 damage. Do I take it for 6? It's still 6 damage. And it makes it hard for the enemy to want to hit you. I could see some skill builds revolving around Q and W that maybe I'd consider, so I don't know. Maybe you don't take the Uproar. Maybe you take Trample and E and play around that. I don't know though. It's hard not to skill Uproar. It's a really good ability at level 1. Like the value point's nice, but it's worse now. Oh no, the base bonus damage is the same. I'm sorry, this is just a stack. Okay, so you still skill it at level 1. Oh, they messed it up. The patch says passive bonus damage decreased, but the ability reads bonus damage, so they messed it up. So I don't know. I don't know what it is. I'm gonna assume it's the bonus damage. I don't know though, but yeah, okay, they made a mistake. Happens. Spell lifesteal decreased from 10 to 8%. Okay, nerf and pudge a bit, it's fine. Damage per mana multiplier increased by, okay, a lot at level 1. 0.25 at level 1, it's a lot. And 0.1 more at max. Okay, I don't think Pugna's good, but all right. Smoke screen is huge at level 1 now. Huge smoke screens. It's actually a big deal considering this is usually a spell you leave at level 1 for a while. So a big buff to Riki actually. Huge buff to Riki. Telekinesis added an indicator for land ability to preview where the unit will actually end up. That's cool. I like that. Move slow on Caustic Finale. Who cares? Cooldown and Disruption is better at level 1. It's actually a very good trading ability in lane, so that's a nice buff. Reflected physical damage now bypasses damage block. Wow. That's a big deal. That's a big deal, especially if you're going to skill this in the lane. That's huge, because damage block is a big deal, especially early on into the game. All right. Okay. Bit of a buff to the 10 talent. Shadow Rave movement speed stack. Whatever. I don't think it's enough. You're still going to get slowed by, like, a crazy amount, which is 12%, and then 24 to... It is 24 after 3 stacks from 30, which is better, but still kind of crazy. Instant burst damage on Arcane Curse. Whoa! 100 damage buff at max. I mean, 40 damage at level 1 is a big buff, considering, you know, heroes don't have that much HP. But 100 flat at max, which cancels blinks, of course. That's nice. And just does the damage is great. Big buff to Arcane Curse and armor. Okay, that's a high damage. This ability does crazy damage, right? It's 240 base, 340. Okay, so it only does 340 if they don't refresh anything, but surely they'll refresh most of the time, so it's pretty good, decent. I don't think the hero's good, but honestly, it's a huge buff. I like that. I like this change. I think it's a cool change. This is a cool change. That's a cool change. Bonus river movement speed increased from 15 to 18%. Okay, it's a nice buff. Stun duration, flat 1.3. Big buff for the laning of Slaughter. Okay. It's actually really a cool change. I like that. That's nice. Depth Shroud. This Slark hero has been owning. They nerfed the level 10 talent, making it more viable to take Pounce Leash. Maybe people will. I feel like 0.5 on Dark Cactus. Maybe it's still worth it because it's just such a, it's your hero primarily. But the Depth Shroud's a little bit worse, which is a big deal. Cast point improved on Charge or Darkness. That's big. It's gonna allow you to charge people right before they get out of vision. Basically, if you tried to charge someone across the map, often you wouldn't have enough time. And right before you could get the charge off, they would get out of vision, you'd miss it because of this this cast point. So that's big. But the Scepter no longer improves cast point, which is weird, but okay. And I'm not even gonna try to figure that out. Bonus movement speed increased at whatever. Tidehunter, Ravage damage increased by 50 at all levels, that's good. And Gush debuff duration increased from 4 to 4.5. That's decent. This hero's not that bad. It's honestly situationally a strong hero. Decay, mana cost increase. Here we go. This is a hero that I'm really interested to see what they do. Decay mana cost increase. This hero has mana problems, so I get it. Increased from 85 to 100 flat. Okay. It's not the end of the world, really. It hurts because you're spamming Decay, so after 3 Decays, that's 45 more mana. You know, it's a big deal, but not the end of the world. You can still dominate the lane. Zombie movement speed slow, decreased from 7 to 5. That's a big one, right? That's a big one. If you hit 3 times, you know, you're 6% faster, which, you know, adds up. It really matters. But probably the biggest one here is the vision. Still a ton of vision. Let's not deny that 1500 vision in the night is still a stupid amount of vision. So really, is this the end of the world? No. Is it a big deal? Absolutely. Nighttime holding hills is quite a bit worse with the Tombstone. Do I think this makes the hero unviable? Not at all. Do I think it makes the hero worse, especially if you don't understand how to itemize early on? Absolutely. So, buy a lot of mangoes and a stick. Mana cost decreased on Gale all the way by 30 mana at level 1, making it a way better ability. Okay, don't think it makes the hero meta, but alright. And then this ability shit. Poison attack, movement speed, slope. See, this one I didn't get. I read this earlier on. Why would they make the hero worse? I already felt like the hero was falling off quite a bit. I see it in pro games occasionally, but still, thought it was falling off pretty hard. Now way worse at level 1. To be fair, it's still decent at level 3, but, you know, after 5 stacks, you're losing 10% total movement speed slow, which could be the difference between killing someone or not. That's 10% movement speed. I mean, that's a ton. So, I don't get it, but okay. Cooldown on Grave Chill, worse by 1 second at all level. This is still the highest win rate hero in Dota, maybe not anymore. Radius decreased on Gravekeeper's Cloak from 1200 to 900. So you're going to have to be very careful with your familiars not to overextend them and get them instantly killed because they will die very quickly. Shard max health restored decreased from 35 to 25%. Still a good shard to protect yourself and just become invulnerable for a period of time. And familiar movement speed decreased by 10. Not the end of the world, but it could matter. So overall, does this take the hero out of the meta? Once again, no. Still a fine hero, but they've nerfed Visage so many times, it's still top tier because it buys strong items and groups up. And I don't think that these changes take that away from him. Are they good changes? Yeah. Did they make the hero worse? 100%. But it's a 55% win rate hero. I'm going to say this puts it to 53.8. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Warlock Chaotic Warfaring decreased. Cooldown by 10 seconds. Okay. Focus Fire bonus attack speed increased by a lot of level 1. I don't know how much of a difference that makes as it's already 300, but maybe it's noticeable. I don't know. I don't play this hero. And finally, Wraith Fire Blast damage increased by 15 at level 1. That's flat damage, so it's not that impressive. Kind of an underwhelming change, I will admit. I love the skeleton talents. At level 10, you should take the skeleton duration and cooldown. And at level 15, I promise taking skeleton's attack damage with how easy it is to spam these things is better. I know the stun duration feels great because you're trying to burst people, but the split push potential and the farming potential of the skeletons with the damage talent is beautiful. I really think, especially with how easy it is to get skeletons, you should take both the skeletons talents if you're going to play this hero, and take the skeletons at level 20 and just spam the shit out of these things down side lanes, because they don't really feed away a lot of gold or XP, and they just farm like madmen, and they force rotations hard. If you don't respond to them, they'll take your towers. So I really think it's a big upside of the hero as a carry, as a hero in general. So yeah, I would like to see people take all the skeleton talents. I think it's personally better than the other side. Hot take, I know, but I personally feel that way. I actually feel pretty strongly about that. But okay, thank you guys so much for watching. I would say I give this patch, I'll give it an honest I'll give it a 5 out of 10. I'll give it a 5 out of 10. Honestly, let me know what rate it from out of 10 in the comments. Rate it from out of 10. What would you give it? I want to hear what you guys have to say. Am I crazy? Am I greedy? Am I expecting too much from patches? Am I expecting too little? What do you think about my 5 out of 10? I don't think it's a great patch. I think it's a good patch. Thank you, Valve, for the patch. I don't mean to come off as like ungrateful, you know what I mean? I just feel like a lot of the changes were good changes here and there. Good changes. I like the DP changes. I thought the bat changes were good. I thought the Slardar change was cool. The Silencer change is cool. So it's a good patch. It's a good patch, but I'm not really excited to play any hero. The only one I would want to try is Wraith King, but like he didn't really get changed much. I just think you should take the skeleton talents. I don't know if there's anything I would like specifically play now. That's kind of my problem. That's my problem with these patches. I just want them to make something interesting. I feel like a lot of the changes are just these like they could have done something cool. Like they could have given Axe like 5 base damage or 6 instead of 3, which sounds minute, but it's like, I don't know, make the hero like quite a bit better for a bit. It would be interesting. Like make people ban the hero, make people learn the hero, contest the hero. I don't know. That's my vibe. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I have the wrong perception about how patches should go, but that's my vibe. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one, and I'm out. Peace.
And that's all, but remember, before you leave, come on, before you tune out, subscribe to the GameLeap website where we are going to help you get to the next rank. If you're stuck, click the link down below, and I'm out. Peace.